Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Charlene Israel.
And I'm Ephraim Graham. A German homeschooling family is denied asylum in the U.S. In Germany, parents who homeschool are hounded, persecuted, fined, and sometimes jailed. But the Obama administration says that is not enough reason to grant political asylum to a German homeschooling family in Tennessee. Now a U.S. Circuit Court has denied their appeal. Dale Hurd has the story.
The appeals court upheld the Obama administration's refusal of asylum to the Romica family. The Romicas fled Germany in 2008 facing criminal prosecution for homeschooling. They live in Tennessee. In 2010, they were granted political asylum by an immigration judge. But that decision was overturned by the Board of Immigration Appeals last year. And Tuesday, the three-judge panel of the Sixth Circuit issued a unanimous decision against the family. Uwe and Hannelore Romica began homeschooling in Germany because they didn't want their children exposed to things like witchcraft and graphic sex education that are taught in German schools.
Also, there were stories where they were encouraged to ask the devil for help instead of God, and actually the devil would help.
We found out what is in the textbooks. It's exactly the opposite from what the Bible tells us and teaches us, and we wanted to protect them.
While the appeals court acknowledged that the U.S. Constitution recognizes the rights of parents to homeschool, it refused to grant that what German homeschoolers face amounts to persecution deserving of asylum. Michael Ferris of the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, which represented the Romicas, said, "We believe the Sixth Circuit is wrong and we will appeal their decision. The next step is the U.S. Supreme Court." The Romicas told CBN News they're disappointed, but said God is in control. They know what they face in Germany if they're deported.
First, they would fine us with increasingly high fines, and they would threaten us to take away custody. There might be jail time too. But the main threat, I think, is the aspect of custody, because then, of course, the children are taken away from you completely, and I mean, that's what no family wants, right?
Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Dr. Kermit Gosnell won't face the death penalty. His attorney cut a deal with prosecutors in exchange for life in prison. A jury convicted the 72-year-old abortionist of killing 3 babies who were born alive at his Philadelphia clinic. Gosnell agreed to forego any appeals process in return for taking the death penalty off the table. Prosecutors agreed to 2 life sentences without parole. Gosnell is set to be sentenced today in the death of a 3rd baby and an involuntary manslaughter conviction in the death of a patient.
Black pro-life leaders offered their reactions to the guilty verdicts against Gosnell. They gathered in the nation's capital Tuesday to call for investigations of similar abortion clinics. Some accused the abortion industry of deliberately targeting Black Americans.
Kermit Gosnell is a racist of the worst kind because he preyed on women and young girls of his own race. For more than 30 years, Kermit Gosnell participated in and perpetuated the epidemic of black-on-black crime.
From 1882 to 1968, 86 years, the Ku Klux Klan lynched 3,446 Negroes. While it took the Klan 86 years to accomplish this, abortion on demand in America accomplished that in less than 4 days.
79% of Planned Parenthood's surgical abortion facilities are intentionally placed within walking distance of minority neighborhoods.
Now, earlier this year, Black leaders pledged to find new strategies to spread the pro-life message to their communities. Franklin Graham says the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and his Samaritan's Purse ministry were targeted in the IRS harassment of conservative groups. Graham says the organizations were notified in September the agency was looking into their activities for the year 2010.
That's right. The IRS scandal is now a criminal investigation. The Justice Department is looking into possible law breaking at the Internal Revenue Service, and the FBI is stepping in to investigate.
The stakes are getting higher in the IRS scandal, now reaching possible criminal conduct.
A new agency watchdog report blames ineffective management for allowing agents to target conservative groups for more than 18 months. The report says agents were overly aggressive with more than half the targeted groups. It calls the information they asked for irrelevant and unnecessary.
For them to target and profile organizations and individuals based on ideology should scare everyone.
The FBI and the Justice Department are working together on the case. Tuesday, U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder announced a criminal investigation.
We are examining the facts to see if there were criminal violations.
Investigators will look into whether the IRS illegally engaged in partisan politics and whether they violated the civil rights of Tea Party and conservative groups by singling them out for extra review.
It suggests to me that there's a culture of rottenness. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
In a statement, President Obama called the watchdog report findings intolerable and inexcusable. He went on to say the IRS must apply the law in a fair and impartial way, and its employees must act with utmost integrity. This report shows that some of its employees failed that test. Still, the IRS continues to offer excuses for its behavior. Officials say that while some inappropriate shortcuts were used, determining if organizations are engaging in a legally permissible level of political activity is required by law. And they even blame some of the conservative groups, saying that their applications were too vague. Now, the Justice Department's investigation into the IRS could lead to jail time if anyone is convicted. The maximum penalty for violating the civil rights statute is 10 years in prison.
The Attorney General himself is in the hot seat for the Justice Department's gathering of phone records at the Associated Press. Eric Holder faces tough questions today at a House Judiciary Committee hearing. Holder defended the AP subpoenas at a news conference Tuesday, saying it was part of a criminal investigation into the leak of classified information. Critics call it government overreach.
I have to say that this is among, if not the most serious, it is within the top 2 or 3 most serious leaks that I've ever seen. It put the American people at risk, and that is not hyperbole. It put the American people at risk, and trying to determine who was responsible for that, I think, required very aggressive action.
Any of these panoply of things that are coming down, it's becoming more and more apparent that the Obama administration does not respect the wall between the government, the Fourth Amendment, which means you as an individual, as a citizen, are secure in your papers and your personal belongings, and the government.
The AP has called this a massive and unprecedented intrusion. Obamacare could cost hospitals billions of dollars nationwide over the coming years. That is according to a rough estimate released by federal health officials. Hospitals will lose $500 million next year alone. The losses come from less federal funding given to states to offset the cost of covering the uninsured. Texas hospitals could lose more than $56 million. Those in Pennsylvania could lose almost $34 million. And Mississippi hospitals could lose $26 million. Obamacare assumes more people will have health insurance and that hospitals will treat a smaller number of uninsured patients.
Ongoing political battles sometimes make America seem more like the divided states than the United States. Now, some have found a way to use those very differences to reach across barriers, and it's happening in the city that's ground zero for political disagreements. John Jessup has more.
Let's face it, for today's politics, it's the worst of times.
I'm sorry, Mr. Perkins, please don't interrupt me.
Switzerland has the lowest crime rate in Europe. Your country has the highest.
I think she's just using that as an illustration to point out that I think Americans
And the fault line runs right through the nation's capital.
Recent public approval ratings show Washington is not the most popular place given its close association with politics and politicians. But it's important to remember this is also a city where people live and work, where they raise families, where many worship and try to build a sense of community.
And that's happening just a few blocks away from the Capitol.
I think it's caused both of us to grow sort of in our faith and sort of how we interact with folks on Capitol Hill.
Juliana Hershap and Aaron Welty are what people in Washington commonly call staffers. They work for members of Congress. But it's their side gig that keeps them going. They lead a community group for their church in downtown D.C. Members include political pollsters, the administration, and other staff from the House and Senate.
I kind of like to think of that verse in Galatians where it says there's neither Jew nor Greek, slave nor free, male nor female. We just throw in Democrat or Republican.
On Thursday mornings, they discuss how their faith can make a difference where they work, the literal intersection of religion and politics. But with so much fighting between the parties, how can it work?
We're taking a lot of the politics and policy and power and all of those things, dropping that off at the door and saying, who are we as people? Who is Jesus to us?
Barriers are broken through prayer and bonds formed through their shared experience in the workplace.
Staff assistants in a group understand what it's like to be answering the phones regardless of what side of the aisle their boss is on.
Their focus, building relationships. Women meet for weekend breakfasts, the men do too.
It's gotten to the point now where a lot of us, we're family.
And during the campaign, they even watched the presidential debates together.
My initial reaction was like, that is a bad idea.
Which on one occasion sparked a debate of a different kind.
2 hours after it was over, we were still there talking because two individuals in the small group were totally, going at it one-on-one on justice versus mercy and grace. And the two people that were having that debate, they're friends today, and they still tease one another about it.
While they haven't found the key to break Washington's gridlock, they hope their small group may provide a clue. Their pastor believes it's an example not only for people in Washington.
I think it's a reminder, too, that we have a king and we are part of a kingdom, and that is larger than this democracy that we live in.
John Jessup, CBN News, Washington.
Coming up, actress Angelina Jolie is being praised for her decision to have her breast removed to prevent cancer. A medical reporter has more on the procedures that doctors say could save countless lives.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 U.S. gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was. Help! And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Yeah! Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes now.
Actress Angelina Jolie is being hailed for her bravery after having a double mastectomy to prevent cancer. A rogue gene inherited from her mother left her with an 87% chance of developing breast cancer. Now that risk is below 5%.
Her case is shedding more light on a strategy called prophylactic surgery. Doctors warn it is not for everyone, but as medical reporter Laurie Johnson shows us, it can be a lifesaver.
Sandra Cohen refers to herself not as a cancer survivor, but as a previvor. She made the difficult decision to have her ovaries and her breasts removed, even though she was never diagnosed with breast or ovarian cancer. But the lives of her mother and grandmother were cut short by it, and Sandra carries the gene.
It's kind of like you're sitting on a time bomb, waiting for cancer to occur. And it really does a number on you mentally to deal with that every single day.
Sandra's decision to have radical surgery before there's evidence of cancer was backed up by a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Researchers looked at nearly 2,500 women with the BRCA1 or 2 genetic mutations and found the removal of ovaries almost eliminated ovarian cancer risk and reduced breast cancer risk by 2/3. Removal of breasts reduced the risk of breast cancer by 85%. Either procedure eliminated the risk of death by at least 2/3.
We've known for several years that removing the ovaries decreases the risk of ovarian cancer and breast cancer. But what we've been able to clearly demonstrate now is that that reduction in risk translates to women living longer.
One of the most important implications of this study is that women with a family history of breast or ovarian cancer may want to consider genetic testing to learn whether they have the gene. Once Sandra learned she had it, she consulted with other women who have it too and who had their breasts and ovaries removed as a precaution. That helped Sandra decide to have the surgery.
When you can actually see someone who's gone through it and they look great and they feel great, it gives you the empowerment to move on and to take action.
And Sandra said since she was finished having children, her main concern was making sure they had a mother for many years to come. Laurie Johnson, CBN News.
And women aren't the only ones having organs removed to head off cancer. Men sometimes have it if they're at risk for prostate cancer. Talk to your doctor if you're interested in genetic testing to see if you have one of the genes that puts you at risk.
Up next, hating the hookup culture. Hear why some college students are having second thoughts about one-night stands.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
This month, college students around the country will get their diplomas, and whether they studied business or law or science, many of them also got a 4-year education on sex.
They are learning it from pornographic lessons, plans in the classrooms to casual hookups in the dorm rooms. But some students are getting tired of this sex saturation, and they're taking a stand for purity.
I grew up in a religious household, but I was always kind of the rebellious one.
Christian Say admits he likes to swim against the tide. Now the Princeton University freshman is pushing back against pressure to have sex before marriage.
We don't think the assumption should be that students are just gonna be hooking up and having sex. And, because there are people who just think that's not what leads to a good human life.
Donna Freitas writes about that hookup culture, naming 3 characteristics to describe it.
Number 1, it's anything from kissing to different types of sex. And then 2, it's brief, anything from 10 minutes to a whole night. And then 3, you're not supposed to get attached. But more often than not, that's the part that really trips students up. They have a really hard time not getting attached.
There's an understanding with a lot of people who are within kind of this hookup culture that there's this sort of emptiness to it.
That emptiness spills out onto the pages of Princeton student newspaper, with anonymous posts in a series called Love and Lust in the Bubble.
During the second semester of my freshman year, 2 of my closest female friends and I created an accomplishment chart, complete with a star for each accomplishment we achieved. Whenever I looked at the star stickers adorning my section of the chart, I would always laugh out loud, remembering the awful, drunken hookup that each star symbolized. There were many nights, though, when I couldn't sleep from cringing at those memories. But I wouldn't take those experiences back. Without them, I would never have realized how much I hate the hookup culture here.
And that pain reaches beyond Princeton's campus. Freitas tackles the subject in her book, The End of Sex: How Hookup Culture is Leaving a Generation Unhappy, Sexually Unfulfilled, and Confused About Intimacy.
To hear so many students either really unhappy or incredibly ambivalent about their sexual experiences in college is depressing to me.
Freitas surveyed more than 2,000 college students across the country. 41% use words like regretful, miserable, disgusted, ashamed, duped, and abused to describe their hookup experience. 23% expressed ambivalence. The author's conclusion: many felt alone and unsure of how to change the culture.
In a lot of ways, starting is the hardest part because that requires some courage. And the biggest hurdle to that is the fact that you've got all these students on campus who will say, I'm the only one who feels this way, but everyone else is over here. And I'm all alone over here. But you have so many students who are saying that. And so a part of me wants to say, listen, you're just like this other person. And you should tell the world that you feel that way. You're going to find all these friends.
That's happening here at Princeton. Christian Say, Audrey Polnow, and Ben Coons are challenging the hookup culture. They're part of the Anscombe Society, a group named after Elizabeth Anscombe, the 20th century philosopher who preached traditional sexual ethics.
We're not the most popular on campus, though actually a lot of students are supportive of us.
We're not like a chastity club. It's not like high school where you get purity rings or anything like that. Nobody's checking up on you, finding out, have you failed to be chaste this week, right? Nobody's doing that sort of thing.
In its mission statement, Princeton's Anscombe Society describes itself as dedicated to affirming the importance of the family, marriage, and a proper understanding of the role of sex and sexuality. It is a mission that is not partisan or religious.
That's a very important part of the group, is that we think you can hold to these positions, these, what might seem like very difficult positions nowadays, without ascribing to any particular faith, without having any special revelation from God. We think that these are just rules written on the hearts of men.
Cassie Huff founded Princeton's Anscombe Society when she was a student in 2005.
It was with the goal of providing that intellectual voice, providing that cultural voice, letting students know that there are reasons behind these commitments, but also that there's a community of support if they were tired of the hookup culture.
And she continues to grow that community After graduating, Cassie started the Love and Fidelity Network, helping students launch Anscombe groups on 25 college campuses.
Young people are aware now that there is a network of young people, that they're not alone. You know, there is a network of young people who have these commitments or even just share the same questions that they do.
Very good story, Ephraim.
Thank you. And the chapters of the Anscombe Society continue to grow on other campuses as well, and that's what they do to spread that word.
That's a really good thing to spread.
Very
Excellent.
important. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
A great example of serving the community is coming from a 6th grade class in Clinton County, Indiana.
The class joined forces to honor a fellow student and bring comfort to his family. Classmates created a newspaper to honor the memory of 7-year-old Noah Von Linderer. He was killed in a house fire last December. Every year, the class sell the paper for 50 cents. They'll put the money toward a good cause, giving back to Noah's family.
In the past, it's been about $500–600, which is great. I think because this cause is so close to home, Noah's a part of our Clinton Prairie family.
The community and the school pulled together, renewed our faith in our community.
The students presented Noah's family with a $1,500 check, as you see there. This week would have been Noah's 8th birthday. The family hopes to use the money to create a memorial for Noah near their home.
I love it. Absolutely precious.
Tell you, children after God's own heart.
Definitely.
Indeed.
That's going to do it now for the CBN News Channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us again next time. Have a wonderful Wednesday, everybody.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.